Hey, Perry Belcher here. Hope you guys are doing great. This is another in our series of traffic interviews. So how to get eyeballs to your offers, leading up to the culmination of our live event, June 19th, 20th, 21st, trafficworldconference.com, trafficworldconference.com, 19th, 21st of June here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I've got one of our preeminent speakers on right now I'm about to introduce you to. This conference is a very different conference where there's only 6 speakers speaking. Each one gets 2 to 2.5 hours to really dive deep, which is unusual for events. They usually don't get that much time unless it's their own event, to dive deep into their specific platform, their specific zone of genius. And it's hard to narrow down on this next guest because he's just pisses me off because he's kind of done everything well. The first time I ever met Max, I was at, I want to say we were in Tampa. Is that right?
It was Scottsdale, I believe. I think was the event.
It was Scottsdale. It was Scottsdale.
Yeah.
It was, that's right. You're absolutely right. Because you were in that like theater seating thing.
Yes, auditorium.
So a young lady who worked for me says, "Hey, you need to get out to Phoenix and come see this guy. I saw this guy speak yesterday, and you need to get on a plane and come see him." And I said, okay. So I flew out. And the next morning went in the session and Max was speaking. And I was just really, really, really impressed. And I don't think Karen ever asked me to fly in to see another speaker ever, so she was obviously impressed. I was impressed. And I think Max is always, there's a phrase like smartest guy in the room. Max is typically always the smartest guy in the room. And I've noticed over the last couple of years, year or two, he's really honed in on social platforms for paid, particularly TikTok. And I know there are others, and maybe you'll touch on some of those others while you're there if you have time. But ladies and gentlemen, meet Maxwell Finn. If you don't know who Max is, you're not paying attention in social. That's for sure. Welcome,
it's
man.
so good. Yeah, man. It's been a while since we've caught up and chatted, but it's always a blast and excited to get to spend time again in person. I still tell the story, by the way. It's still like one of my favorite, like when we were at your house, this is years ago. And it's always one of my favorite, like the funniest things you ever said. This is totally unrelated to marketing, but I remember at your house, you had yeah, I don't know if you still have it. Do you still have the shower, the sauna special shower thing that you
I
talked
don't.
about?
I'm in a different house because I
Your
had
different house.
I had a sauna shower, really fancy, like a $50,000 freaking sauna. I miss that thing. I miss that house.
I can't believe you didn't take it because I'll never forget you
Oh, you
saying
couldn't. It was built in. It was, yeah.
yeah, but it was funny. It's what you said. It was like if I ever get separated, right? Like it's just me. Like the only thing I'm taking, the only thing that matters is that shower. That's like the
Oh, I
most
miss it
important thing
so
in the world
bad.
to me. So
I love that thing.
it was so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, I
That's
love
funny.
that thing. So I'm looking at another house right now, lake house, and we're going to put one into the lake house. And
You were ahead of the time. It's the saunas and cold plunges are all hot now, but
I'm
that
telling
was
you,
years
man.
ago.
I'm telling you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I love that thing. Then I met Erin Brockovich, and she's like, "Don't get in it. You'll get Legionnaire's disease." And I'm like, "What?" So I've been using it for 2 years. I'm fine.
I'm
Anyway,
good.
she's a hoot. Well, so Max, what you been up to, bro?
It's the last few years for me has been really getting like hyper focused. One of our biggest challenges historically has been, I think you can probably relate to this. There's so many opportunities that come your way, and uh, and going kind of from opportunity to opportunity, and you're kind of chasing the next big thing. Um, and really, Jeremy and I, the last few years have said like let's just get really focused. Let's build just a few things, and from that will lead to other opportunities. And so really, it's been just staying in our lane, helping businesses scale with paid social. That's really our bread and butter, and we do that through education, coaching, consulting, and then done for you. So we kind of have the full, do it yourself, done with you, and done for you. And that's really just we operate in that flywheel, and that's led to some other really exciting opportunities as advisors and owners and businesses. But really, Meta, TikTok, two big channels that we operate in. We do always experiment with other things. And I know you mentioned this of like, hey, maybe there's some other channels you can talk about at the event, and I'm happy to do that. But because we have a political business, so one of our big e-commerce businesses I think this year we could do north of 30 million with it. um, we've had to get creative how we advertise because there's a lot of restrictions on political
Are you doing
advertising.
Rumble and all those
So we've
those
had to, yeah.
conservative
I mean,
platforms?
yeah. So we out of necessity had to
They're not
get on these
necessarily little, but
platforms.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's but they're arcade the ad platform, and it's funny. I actually we've been on Rumble, their ad platform since like we were one of the first advertisers there, and I put a YouTube video up probably 2 years ago saying, we spent $150,000 on Rumble. Here's what my experience, and like their entire team watched it and they reached out and we built a relationship that way. And so we've helped kind of give them a lot of guidance and advice on building out the ad platform because they didn't have a pixel, they didn't have any tracking, they didn't have anything, right? And so, yeah, I mean, we're always trying to think about what's next because Meta's still the bread and butter, TikTok's still getting bigger and bigger, but there's going to be another thing and another thing. And
sure,
for me, it's always about being on that wave, but also building up. And I want to talk about this in person in Vegas. Like we'll talk TikTok, we'll dive deep into strategies and tactics and the campaign build-ups. We can talk about it a little bit on this call today too. But it's also like the fundamentals of marketing, and those become, I think, even more important today. It's understanding neuromarketing, behavioral economics, consumer psychology, core principles. That if you can understand those, it doesn't matter if it's TikTok today or Rumble tomorrow or some
sure.
type of crazy AI platform in 5 years, you're going to be good growing your business.
It's a great advantage that I've been able to have over the years because I learned in retail,
Yep.
manufacture all the way up, So I was direct mailing people, you know, in 1942, it feels like, I was direct
You look
mailing
great
people
for being born in
and
42.
since 42. Yeah. Um, yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing and true. And the platforms, the names change, but the game stays the same. Right.
Yep.
And I think today more than ever, um, because of the lack of targeting, you
Yep.
know, so many people call themselves marketers who were really targeters. They weren't really good marketers. The messaging wasn't that great. But if you've got a man dying of thirst and you hold up a sign that says water, they're going to buy it. But you can't target that narrowly anymore. And you're seeing it come back to roost for some of those guys and gals are not doing so well in the old school, gray-haired marketers and the fundamental marketers, people that read all of Halbert's stuff and Eugene Schwartz and all the stuff that we studied on and all the behavioral stuff that we've done. I got to spend, by the way, I haven't seen you since then. I got to spend 2 full days just hanging out with Rory Sutherland. I don't know if you,
I'm so jealous. I was just talking to
it
my
was
wife yesterday.
amazing.
I was just talking to my wife yesterday because he retweeted me. We had our date night and he retweeted me. And I was so excited. And I was like, Rory Sutherland just retweeted me. And she's like, she doesn't know who he was. And I was
Who's
just like,
that guy? Yeah,
he's he's
dude,
like the
a god.
my super
He's
fan.
like
He's
a
like,
god.
Taylor Swift for you. Like he's Taylor
Yeah,
Swift for me
yeah.
in marketing.
I went to an event, not to kill time, but I went to an event speaking for Cole Gordon
Yep.
and a mastermind event, and he had me and Rory, and those were the two keynotes. And I spoke, and Rory spoke, and his team, his crowd is very young, very hustly, very bro-ish. They had no idea who we were. They didn't give a damn at all. And so we just went over in a corner and started just jamming out with each other. And for 2 straight days, we spent probably 10 hours out of 2 days just he and I solo exchanging notes it was fascinating, dude. It was just
It's
amazing.
incredible.
I'll share my
Just
notes
yeah,
with you.
I would love to. I mean, piece of advice for anyone watching. Um, if you want to make more money with your ads and you want to grow your business, study guys like that. Read Alchemy, read his books like that. You are going to be it gives you such a competitive advantage because, like you said, I think the days of being pushers and exploiting the platforms and the hacks, if I dupe this ad set 7 times and set the budget to here and do this little tweak and like they're coming to an end. The platform's getting too good and it's getting too competitive. You need to understand great copy. You need to understand how to make great creative. You need to understand how to have a unique angle that nobody else has. You need to understand offers. And guys like Rory, if you study him and everything he talks about, I mean, he just posted a video the other day about Red Bull, like on social, talking about like the brilliance of Red Bull is they didn't position it as a soft drink. It's not a beverage because it tastes like crap. It's not competed like Coke. You don't look at like Coke. It's like medicine. And
The
if it's like
medicine, yeah.
medicine, people are willing to pay premium because you don't want to pay cheap medicine, you want expensive medicine. And it's smaller cans, so it's more potent. Like all the disadvantages become advantages because it's not positioned as a drink, it's positioned as medicine. Just like it changes the way you advertise if you can
We
think
talked
that
about
way.
so much. Well, you and I have to catch up on all that. I'll
Yeah.
I'll turn you on to everything.
Yeah.
got from Rory. Have you read, by the way, and then we'll go on. Have you read Oversubscribed by Daniel Priestley?
I have not, but I will add it to my
You are
my
going to
reading list right
fall
now.
in love with that book. It's a great book.
On my
Um,
list.
so okay, cool. So let's talk about TikTok for a minute. So
Yep.
you had put a lot of your eggs in the TikTok basket. You taught a lot on TikTok. You seem to be kind of the king dingling of TikTok. And and I know this is a platform not understood by a lot of people. It's a platform not used by a lot of people. I just came back from the Billion Dollar Seller Summit, the big Amazon thing in Hawaii, and TikTok is the total buzz in ecom. I mean, it's the total buzz. I met a lady who started in 90 days hiring TikTok influencers and did $1 million in 90 days, having never sold anything online before. It was just fascinating to me. Why do you think TikTok's such a big deal, and what do you think the future of it is? I know that's hard to predict, but
Yeah. So the future is definitely hard to predict because there's obviously a lot of, and this is a whole, we can talk about this at the event about the government side of it because there's the TikTok ban. There's a lot of, that's a whole dialogue there. Like, what does the
everybody
future look
seems to
like?
be chasing TikTok right now. All
Yeah,
the other
and worst
platforms
and
seem to be
worst case
chasing.
scenario, you still have a year before anything would happen, right? That's
Yeah.
worst case scenario. So it's like that's an eternity for people like us. Um, the big thing right now, what's driving most of the excitement, most of the growth, is TikTok Shop. TikTok Shop is driving so much energy momentum because of what you just said, which is you're seeing both on the brand side and the user side so much money being made by people that really don't know what they're doing, and that just creates a feeding frenzy. Right? You see these these 20-year-olds that don't know anything about marketing, they just know how to create social media content, finding a product TikTok shop that pays a 10% commission and creating videos about it. And some of them are making 20, $30,000 a week in commission.
My kid made 5 grand in a day.
It's
He's got a
it's
TikTok
unbelievable.
account with about a million and a half followers, and he did his first TikTok shop thing, and I forget what it was, but he netted out like $5,500 from one post.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So you're seeing, so businesses are seeing that. And I think it's a perfect storm right now because you have this TikTok shop channel growing with this creator marketplace at the same time as businesses are starting to really struggle with paid. Like, paid is more challenging today than it's ever been, between privacy changes with, potential cookie deprecation, even though Google keeps pushing it back. It's like the fourth time they delayed it, but it's eventually coming. You have Apple with Safari rolling out this feature where it can allow users to actually like digitally erase parts of websites to not see ad units. You have Apple, ATT, which happened in iOS 14. And so tracking is getting harder, attribution is getting harder, ad costs are going up. And so you have this combination of, okay, it's getting really hard to do paid for a lot of small businesses getting priced out. And then you have this channel opening up where, wait, I can just, work with organic people and I can set a commission and pay them a flat 10% and I can get sales coming in every day. That's a pretty attractive thing. So the timing of those are getting a lot of small businesses. And then the bigger businesses are seeing it now. They're like, whoa, you mean this little vacuum company is that's selling $50 little crappy vacuums? They sold $1 million off on TikTok shop. I'm Dyson. Like, I'm gonna get on there, right? Like, so you're seeing now all that hype bringing the big boys in to want to compete in TikTok shop, which just creates more momentum, right? It creates more demand and more people shopping there, right? The stat is one of the stats I saw last week was 11% of US households have made a purchase on TikTok shop already, which is pretty staggering. And about 70% of all um, social shopping now is happening on TikTok shop. So it's pretty wild the growth that's happening there.
That's crazy. So, and are you finding that how are you finding that platform things other than goods and gadgets and impulse purchase things? How are you finding it for things like um lead generation or B2B services, things like that? Because it seems like what somebody told me that I picked up on that recently was like you date on TikTok and you get married on YouTube, or you date on I know my son now is driving his TikTok people, as many as he can, to Instagram because he seems to have a uh, better monetization ability on Instagram and then on to YouTube for longer in-depth relationship building. And I don't even really know what he's doing there, but I don't know if he's doing anything brilliant or if he's doing anything stupid. I'm not sure. But are you finding that it seems like these platforms tend to need to work hand in hand? And as a follow up, are you using a lot of user generated content on those platforms? So a lot of the people that I met at the Amazon event were buying user generated content from influencers and then priming the pump of that with paid media.
Yeah, I mean that's what you're seeing. So I guess I'll answer the first question about B2B and lead gen and stuff. So right now, as TikTok Shop stands, it's purely for physical product, B2C. That's what it is. Now you can get clever and get creative there. And so, for example, for our info business, right, we have all the digital so courses and everything. So we can't sell that, at least not yet. But what we can do is we can have it's a piece of paper down here. Like we have this, let's see, this blueprint document. So we have like, this blueprint. It's a lucid chart. It's our entire media buying system for TikTok, right? And so we can do a physical printout of that. Say, hey, we're gonna mail you this. You're buying this physical PDF, this document. We're gonna send
I
it
do
to
the
you, and
laminated sheets that
that's
way.
$5. Yeah, you've done that for a long time.
Yeah.
And so you can, if you're a digital business, if you're, those types of businesses, you can create a physical product that primarily just is getting your foot in the door on TikTok Shop. And then when you deliver it in the follow-up, you can include, go to this link to get access to our course, or go to this link to get access to whatever it might be. Um, Maybe you're, I don't know, a solar business, and you sell some type of for like $1 or $5. Here's a guide on saving money in the summer, right? It's like a 10-page document, and one of the big things is solar, and in it it's no different than direct mail. You include your advertisement here. Go here to book a consultation. We'll come out, give you a free estimate. So there's a lot of workarounds people are doing right now for lead gen type businesses, service type businesses, B2B type businesses, coaching, consulting, info businesses. But it all comes down to having some type of physical offering you can put on there.
And you don't own that first transaction on TikTok Shop, right? That's TikTok Shop processes that and they own that transaction, correct?
It's done through TikTok, but it's integrated. So if you have, Shopify or whatever it might be, your Shopify store is integrated. So there's like TikTok rolling out Fulfilled by TikTok, similar to like
So
FBA.
you do own that transaction.
So the customer does go into, yeah, shop, like if you're fulfilling it and you're delivering everything, it's being passed through to your
Yeah.
inventory management system and everything. Um,
So
yeah.
if you sell a survival or a political product, like I do as well, we're in the similar market. So if you sell a survival or a digital product, a survival product or a gadget or you know a rape whistle like I need desperately, um, then that would be an indicator that a person were into self-defense, for instance, right?
Yes.
So you would have that lead, and then you could continue to market whatever you wish to that lead post that sale. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Awesome. And TikTok shops are kind of hard to set up, though, right? People are saying they get denied setting those up a lot. I've heard.
It's definitely a whole art. And like, you know, transparently, my main focus has always been on the ad side. Like TikTok shop has almost become its own thing, right? It's all like there's guys I know that like all they do is TikTok shop specifically,
Yeah.
right? And so yeah, because like the policy's changing all the time. They're saying, hey, this product's allowed, but then a few weeks later they change it. So you might be going through the process and it's good now, but if a month from now they actually change it, your product's not allowed. Um, they've changed their seller fees, have increased those. So yeah, it's also people need to remember like it's not even around for a year. Like it's such a new platform. It seems like it's been around for a while because it's so big already. But it's still really, really new. And there's a lot of changes, just like there's changes still on, Meta changes their ad policies, TikTok ads, Google, they change their policies on a regular basis.
Do you get to set your affiliate commissions on there?
Yeah, so you can, um, like when you're going to marketing and going to like campaigns, for example, you can set all kinds of, promo codes. You can set different deals. TikTok also has their own deals
Yeah,
that
they're
they offer
subsidizing
customers. So
a lot
they're
of that.
subsidizing a lot of it. So it's a combination of that. But yeah, on the affiliate side, you can, if you want to be super aggressive and pay out aggressive commissions, you can do that. Or you can say, I'm going to pay, 5% or
For
something
guys
really,
like you
really
and I
gentle.
who are more concerned of selling the back end and just want to get a pulse in a transaction, sounds like a really great platform for us. And
Yeah.
from an ad side to that, so are you typically running ads to a TikTok shop page, or are you running ads to other things?
For a
If
lot
you're
of our
when you're
e-commerce,
running TikTok ads, are you running them to TikTok shops, or are you running them to off-platform stuff?
yeah, for a lot of our e-commerce clients and students in a coaching program, we're doing a lot to TikTok shop right now just because it reduces so much friction. It's so much more seamless. TikTok's pushing, obviously. Um, that being said, there are, certain businesses where, like, if you have subscription-based product, we have a client of ours that went from, 80 grand a month in recurring revenue to 500,000 a month in 3 months with us. And like, it's a hat subscription. And so it's more complicated to do that on TikTok shop. They have to do one, like a one off, and then in the packaging, say subscribe. So it really depends on the type of business. It also depends on the price point. Really, like, the sweet spot we've seen so far has been like, sub 50, $60. Like, a lot of the top selling products, if you go into tools like Callow Data, or Fastmoss, which are two really good research tools for TikTok
Yeah,
shop.
that's awesome.
um, yeah, they're like, you know, 10, 20, $30, really easy to say yes to. Or they might be, 60, $70, but they have like a really crazy discount and deal on them. So anything more than that becomes a little more challenging
You
to
just don't have a lot of
sell.
time, right? And that's always true with all ads. If you're going to sell something in 30 seconds, it needs to be $20 or less. That was the rule forever. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to sell a $300 treadmill, you need a 30-minute infomercial. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. What would you tell people as far as the approach to TikTok ads versus the approach to Facebook, or the approach to YouTube, or the approach to Instagram? How should they look at it differently? And is it like a first platform, or is it a second platform? Is it a third platform? By that, I mean, like, if you have a new offer, is it a good testing platform, or is it a scaling platform?
So for a lot of people, still to this day, Meta is going to be like, if you had to pick one platform, especially for smaller budget
For testing?
businesses, Meta is just it's and it's makes sense, right? They've been around for a lot longer. They have so much more spend data, and you can also run, images a lot more effectively. Although you can run images now on TikTok, but like, the barrier to like get things going is so low in Meta. It's like, oh, I'm just going to go into Canva and create a little image and throw an image up there, right? Um, Whereas with TikTok, it's, hey, I need to create some videos. A lot of people will get really hung up on the creative, and you may need to spend more just to get some momentum. Not always, right? There's some things that just hit out of the gate. You have a really viral product, you just have a good creative. Um, but yeah, TikTok we're usually seeing as a kind of second platform that comes in. Hey, you have something cracking, it's working on Meta. Let's bring TikTok in and start to increase volume. I would say that, like, TikTok Shop specifically, that's something everyone should, like. There's no reason you shouldn't be on that. If you sell a product online, like, you should be on TikTok Shop today.
Fantastic. Um, any any tricks, hacks, anything you'd share with people that aren't going to be able to make it to Traffic World that might help them if they're going to approach TikTok?
Yeah,
I know
a
it's not
few.
really a hacks guy, and hacks are usually bullshit. It's
No, I
mostly
get it.
just
We can talk
fundamentals.
more. Just it's we'll say just strategies. This one sounds so trivial, but it's so important, and a lot of people don't do it. Which is, like, you need to use the platform. It's not like Facebook, which is like, hey, I never really use the platform, not on really social media, but I can just, here's an image of my product and go buy it. You need to use TikTok. You need to understand the kind of culture there. I'm not talking like the dancing culture. I'm talking about, like, your demos on there. There's so many niche communities on there, from finance to, everything you could think of. So from the consumer stuff, the apparel, to finance, and everything in between. And so it's really easy to go on there and see, like, here's what the top creators who are absolutely crushing it in, financial education, in dentistry, doctors, lawyers, that have a million, 5, 10 million followers. Like, here's the content they're making, here's what they're doing. Like, don't reinvent the wheel. Like, that clearly is what TikTok users want to see and want to watch. Replicate that, the hooks, the scripts, the styles, and plug your offering into there. Right. So that's the first one. And that's free. Anybody can do that. Go on there, consume content, create content. Really easy to do. Get your reps in. You need to get practice creating content. And the only way you do that is by actually doing it. Right. So that's one. I think the other one is creative testing is without a doubt the single biggest lever you can pull on all paid channels nowadays, especially TikTok. And so one of the things we'll walk through at the event is like how to set up an effective creative testing campaign, what the infrastructure looks like, kill points and everything. But that's really going to be one of your core campaigns. Once you find a winning audience, is launching that creative testing campaign where you're ideally launching 4 new creatives a week. And in the beginning phases, those should be net new angles, meaning like each thing is a totally different shot. We're going to try this POV style in the warehouse. We're going to try this man on the street style. We're going to try this. And then from there, if you're hitting like, if we can bat 250, meaning for every 4 creatives we test, we're finding one winner, awesome. And so what we're doing there is, okay, tested 4 creatives this week. We found one that worked really well. Now, next week, we're going to create some variations of that one winner because we're looking to consistently move the floor performance up higher. So we're going to test different intro hooks. We're going to test different text overlay hooks in the beginning. We're going to test different intro motions, different creators doing the exact same script. That's a really easy hack, by the way, is like, if you
Who do
have
they
an ad,
respond to? Not just what do they respond to? Yeah.
yeah, like this is everyone works, I think, way too hard when it comes to marketing sometimes. And it's like, it's so hard to find a winning ad. When you find a winning ad, most people just try to scale it and then move on to finding more winning ads. It's like, no, like you found gold. You can turn that gold into a lot more gold,
Dig a little
right?
deeper.
You can dig a little deeper, but even at surface level, we have a client that does really nice handmade wallets. And they had an ad that was just kind of like a POV showing this really cool way they opened it and all the things they're doing with it, crushed. And so it's like, okay, literally do that exact same ad, but have a female do it, have an older guy do it, exact same thing, word for word, visually, everything, just different looking person, different sounding person, and different avatars just had better performance. So like there's some simple things you can do that can either just extend the longevity of ad performance or even better, find more profitable ads that don't require you to go out and find an entirely new ad. Just take this, shoot it differently, have somebody different say it. So yeah, that's something that's really important when it comes to creative testing. When it comes to your like creative, if you think about what's moving the needle, you need to focus on grabbing attention and retaining attention. Those are the two big levers, right? I need to be able to stop the scroll because if I can't stop the scroll, nothing else matters, like the best offer in the world. But that's not enough. I also need to retain the attention. So once I got them for the first 3 seconds, I need to keep them for the next 30, 45, 50 seconds to actually get some selling in there and get them off site.
Crazy. We're talking in seconds, right? It is for the, but I know that's where we
Yeah.
are in the world now, man.
Yeah.
Do you find the TikTok platform to be suitable? Because like I had Jordan Swanson on earlier, and he talked about demand side, in Taboola, and really that you really kind of have a pretty broad-based offer to make it work there, right? You
Yeah.
really do. But do you find that TikTok is a broad-based market, or can it work in a niche market? Because I watch TikTok about baking. I'm a baker now, which is crazy. So I watch TikTok about baking, and and my girlfriend watches TikTok about mushroom. She's into growing mushrooms, mycelium, and she watches. And there's so many freaking TikTok videos of watching mushrooms bloom or watching, seeing sourdough starters rise and things like
Mhm.
that. Is it a suitable platform for niche, or is that not really a thing from the paid side?
It's definitely a thing. I mean, that's one of the unique things about TikTok is there are so many, book talk. Like, there's so many communities and sub communities in the app that are hyper engaged. And there's, there's creators in there that have maybe not the biggest followings in the world because it's not a big market, but like hyper passionate followings in there that are creating content on a regular basis. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a, we're seeing a lot of, I think this is where there's misconceptions that like I need to have a D2C sub $20 gadgety product to make TikTok ads work and nothing else works out there. We're actually seeing some of the things you wouldn't expect to work, whether it's high ticket, right? Cole's actually funny. Cole, we actually got him onto TikTok and got his high ticket coaching programs up there. And it did so well that we launched our coaching program together in a JV. And so like we're seeing coaching there. We have a client that sells dental implants. They're, ten to $20,000. They're not cheap, right? To do full dental implants. When they came through our coaching program, they did about $1.3 million in 3 months off of around $50,000 in spend. And now we're doing performance consulting with them, and they're doing, five,
Take that
$6 million a month. And
ROI.
so, yeah, I mean, they're consistently getting kind of a 10x ROI, and they're abnormal. That's a crazy, crazy case study. But like dental implants, so you think it's not a huge market, right? There's not a tons of people that need dental implants. It's a very specific type of person that would need to get full replacement of their teeth. Um, and so, even service providers, lawyers, we have people that have local restaurants, food trucks. So it really comes down to like, uh, how scalable. That's really
You
your
can really
customers there, the
localize it.
community is there.
You can
You can
localize
really
it like you can.
localize it. You can really niche it. It just might not be, massively scalable just because of the size. And that's,
Sure.
but if you're a local business anyway, it's like you're confined to a few million people, or,
Right.
100,000 people, 500,000 people, whatever your geo is.
Fantastic. Well, man, we're about out of time, but is there do you want to tease them anything you're going to talk about at Traffic World? Do you have a plan yet? You want to release any of that? You just want to let them come and find out?
I mean, what I'll say is what I'm really excited about, is unlike any talk that I've done, whether it's TNC or Affiliate World or whatever it is, like you're so confined, like you said, to 30 minutes to 60 minutes, where you can really not go deep on any one topic. Like what we're going to do essentially is, like, when you come and leave, by the time you're done, you're going to know every single thing that we do to run ads on TikTok, like the entire thing, from how we set up our very first campaign all the way through to how we scale things once they win, to then how are we keeping the flywheel going with creative testing, kind of everything in between, how we do creative research, all the tools we use. So it's really kind of a behind the scenes look at everything we do day to day, Unicorn, when it comes to running ads on TikTok.
That's amazing. That is worth a trip in and of itself. Max, if they want to get a hold of you for anything, like I don't know if you're taking clients right now, or I know you probably got room in a coaching program, or whatever. How would they reach out to you if they want to get more Max in their life?
Yeah, I would just go to unicorninnovations.com. That has all of our kind of offerings on there and our contact info. And that's the easiest place to go to learn more about the business. Or you can my personal website's maxwellfin.com. So either of those is going to have all the information you would need.
Max, so good to talk to you as always. Always learn something new. Always want to dive deeper and spend more time with you when I get an opportunity to. So I look forward to seeing you out here. Traffic World Conference, trafficworldconference.com, June 19th, 2021, here in Las Vegas. Be there, be square. I think you're going to like it a lot. It's only a few tickets left, but there will be live streams. If we sell out I don't know by the time this airs if the live's going to be completely sold out. It likely will be. So if it is, just check and see. But you can still get a live stream. It's going to be worth it either way. We spend a lot of time on live stream directly with our people. So thanks, Max. I appreciate it so much. I can't wait to see you in Vegas.
Same here, man.
Take care, buddy. See you.
Bye.